Now entering the faculty of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School.
Dean Jace C. Gatewood.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. I'm Dean Gatewood, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 Commencement ceremony, which I now call into order. Before we get started, can we please stand for our national anthem by the Amadeus Quartet? Where's the flag? We will now have the invocation by the Reverend Dr. David Anthony Spencer, Jr.
Let us now bow our heads as I pray in my faith tradition. Eternal God, creator of life and giver of opportunities, education, and alliances, we invite you into this place during a time of reflection, accountability, and celebration. Allow your spirit to rest in this place as we hear words of inspiration and direction. Allow these your students to meditate on this journey here as they have matriculated through such a rigorous and thought-provoking experience. We come with grateful hearts. Thank you for granting us the privilege of serving as a great cloud of witnesses. We recognize that traditional and non-traditional students come from a variety of places committed to make positive contributions to their profession, the legal system, and community. We're grateful for the John Marshall Law School, who is dedicated to preparing highly skilled and ethical professional lawyers who possess a strong and social conscience. We are grateful, O God, for those professors who have poured out of themselves that their students would understand the science and underpinnings of the legal system. We now lift up these students as we honor them and their accomplishments and commitment to study and sacrifice. May they now hear and take in the wisdom spoken to them today as they set off on a new adventure in life. May they heed to the sage counsel given unto them. May you continue to fortify their hearts, relationships, and bonds forged in the walls of this program as they are confronted with the countless challenges, disparities, and injustices plaguing and terrorizing our legal system today. Lord, this is our prayer, and we count it done. In Jesus' name we pray, and let every heart say together, amen.
Today we gather to celebrate the accomplishments of a fine group of women and men. Through their diligent efforts and hard work, they reached the threshold of the commencement of their professional careers as attorneys at law. As you might imagine, this was not an easy journey. It was a journey fraught with uncertainty, a journey filled with long nights, sleepless nights, and sometimes endless nights. Yet it was a journey well worth it. Because along the way, each of you learned something truly amazing about yourselves. You learned that you could accomplish anything. Not only that you could become lawyers, but that through your degree, you could change the world. Your journey is our future. You know, however, your journey was not made alone. Others were instrumental in each graduate's success. At the top of the list are spouses, significant others, children, parents, and other families and friends who shared this journey with you. Students, would you please stand and take a moment to let each of the members of your support group know how very much you appreciate their support. Please be seated. Another group worthy of recognition is our faculty sitting behind me who guided you to this point. Faculty had no easy tasks. In many respects, their task as faculty, dealing with a pandemic, an on-again, off-again remote learning, was as selfless and heroic as each of yours through this process. As we honor your accomplishments today, we honor our faculty too. Will the faculty please stand and be recognized? And we cannot forget the many staff members that assisted you every day to make your time here at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School smooth and mostly hassle-free. Without their efforts on your behalf, we could not accomplish the task of educating you. So will all the staff members here present today please stand where you are and be recognized? Thank you. Now that we recognized all those who had a hand in you being here today, today is about you and what you have achieved through your hard work, determination, and moments of creative inspiration. Graduation is a time to imagine your future and the world to come. When you think about the road ahead, you may gain perspective by looking where you've been. Take a minute and think about where you've been. Take that knowledge and use it to make your future, to chart your own path, and know that if you made it this far, you can make it all the way and have all your dreams come true. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Before we move on with the ceremony, there are two special members of our community that will be retiring at the completion of the academic year. And we wish to recognize their commitment and service to our law school. First is Dean and Professor Emeritus Robert D'Agostino. Professor D'Agostino began his career at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School in 1995. Prior to joining the law school and after practicing law for some 15 years, Professor D'Agostino was a tenured professor at what is now known as Widener Law School in Delaware. From 1981 to 1982, he took a 2-year leave of absence from Widener to serve as a presidential appointee to the United States Department of Justice under President Ronald Reagan, where he served as an Assistant Deputy Attorney General for Civil Rights. Professor DeAgostino also served as Dean of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School from 1996 to 2000, which were some very tumultuous times for the law school. He is, without a doubt, responsible for Atlanta's John Marshall Law School and how it exists and operates today. Professor DeAgostino, would you please join me at the podium? This is in recognition of your service to the law school. I think they want to get a picture. Thank you. Thanks. Did you want to say a few words? Next, we have Associate Dean, Dr. Bridget Ortega. Dr. Ortega, a veteran of the United States Air Force, is the Associate Dean of Career Services and Professional Development. She has been a key administrator since joining the team in early 2011 and is also a senior organizational consultant and trainer for the National Association of Drug Court Professionals, the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, American University's Justice Program Office, and the National Judicial Institute on Domestic Violence. She is a lawyer, researcher, and the past president and chair of the Board of Directors of the National Juvenile Defender Center in Washington, D.C. She is also currently the Equity and Inclusion Officer for the Georgia affiliate of the ACLU. As the law school evolves, so has Dr. Ortega, having earned her master's and doctorate degrees while serving in roles such as the Assistant Dean of Externship and Pro Bono Services and Assistant Dean of Experiential Learning. She also managed department programs such as Street Law, Reentry Forum, and Youth and the Law Summit. As a teaching administrator, Dr. Ortega developed and teaches the Learning from Practice course, which includes modules on cultural competency, equity and inclusion, and navigating cultural difference. Please help us honor Dr. Ortega. Do you want to say a few words? Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Let's get a picture here. Now let's turn our attention to recognizing the special accomplishments of some of our graduates. Each year, we honor our graduates with a number of awards. The award recipients are selected by the faculty based on criteria that embodies the award. As I call out the award and the name of the recipient, I would ask that each recipient stand and remain standing to be recognized. The first award is the Excellence in Pro Bono Award. And we have 3 recipients for this award. The first recipient is Joshua Harris Elbaz. The second recipient is Timothy Orange. And the third recipient is Nicole Rizza. Next, we honor Atlanta's John Marshall Law School Award for Excellence in Appellate Advocacy. That recipient is Mott Rosian. Thank you. The next award is the Judge Harold R. Bankey Advocacy Award, and the recipient is Joshua Elbass. The next award is the Henning Award for the Atlanta Bar Association Dispute Resolution Section, and the award recipient is Andreas Mettler. The next award is the American Institute Medal of Excellence, and the award recipient is Antonio Pishvahi. And here at John Marshall, we have an honor society called the Order of Aquill. We had 3 members inducted to the Order of Aquill this year. The first member is Lauren Bofield, scholar. The second member inducted is Joseph Everett Bush, scholar. And the last member, Mott Rosian, honor scholar and marshal of the order. Can we give all these recipients a round of applause? Thank you. There are some additional awards for graduates, and when I call out the name of the award and the recipient, I would ask that the recipient come up on stage to receive their award. The first award is the Chief Justice Leah Ward Sears Pro Bono Award. We have 2 recipients, one for the class of 2021 and one for the class of 2022. The class of 2021, Carolina Arias Sidiel. The 2022 recipient, Derek Law. Every year, the faculty get together to select Atlanta's John Marshall Law School Outstanding Graduate Award. And for the first time ever, we have multiple award winners for that award, both in the full-time division and the part-time division. We have 4 recipients in the full-time division and 1 in the part-time division. I'll start with the full-time division. First recipient, Joseph Bush. The next recipient for this honor is Sombrea Goodman. The next recipient, Mach Rosian. And the last recipient in the full-time division, Kamali Thompson. Now for the part-time division. The recipient is Lauren Bofill. Now I have the distinct honor of introducing Judge Nira Ball, who will introduce our recipients for the Lifetime Achievement Award and Distinguished Alumni Award. Judge Ball is from the class of 2000 and herself is a 2010 Distinguished Alumni Award recipient. She is Director and Appellate Division Judge for the State Board of Workers' Compensation. Judge Ball.
Thank you, Dean. Good afternoon. I have the distinct honor of presenting the 2022 Inaugural Lifetime Achievement Award to Louise Thornton Hornsby, class of 1965. The purpose of this award is to recognize a graduate of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School who has attained more than 50 years of extraordinary distinction and success in their field of endeavor, and whose achievements have brought credit to law school and benefited their fellow citizens. Louise Thornton Hornsby is a 1965 alumna of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. She attended Spelman College, and after graduation, she attended an apprenticeship program at Matthews School of Law. In the 1960s, students could earn a law degree through apprenticeship programs. During the 60s, when previously segregated schools were open for African American students to attend, she enrolled at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School to prepare for the bar exam. She graduated in 1965 and was one of the first Black alumni to receive an education at AJMLS. Louise was also the 6th Black woman to pass the bar exam in the state of Georgia. after law school, she worked in the Fulton County Public Defender's Office and also served as a part-time judge for the City of Atlanta Traffic Court. She was appointed by former Mayor Andrew Young as the Solicitor General for the City of Atlanta, where she served for a few years before deciding to run for public office. Louise opened her private practice, the Hornsby Law Firm LLC, in 1996, where she practiced until her retirement in 2022. Through more than 56 years as a practicing attorney, she has received numerous recognitions, awards, and accolades, and held many positions within the community. Louise is a mother of 5 children and grandmother to 10. She still lives in the Atlanta area, and at 85 years old, is active in her community. Congratulations, Louise Hornsby.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge Marsh. I am excited, and I thank you, John Marshall Law School, for this lifetime award that you've given me. I'm almost kind of shaky a little bit, a little nervous, but I'll get over it. I want to acknowledge my family and friends who have been supportive of me, and a lot of them are here, and I'd like to acknowledge them. If you would, please stand. And I'd like to also acknowledge Dean and all of the really teachers who have taught law here, and all of the distinguished guests, judges, and fellow lawyers. I thank you. I thank you, John Marshall, for giving me my start. The original ones are not here, but I know what a great job you're doing, and I thank you. And I thank you for these students, because when I first started, actually, it was very hard. I was married. I had children, and I wanted to go to law school, but there were no law schools in Georgia that black people who could go to. And I couldn't afford to go out of town, and most of the people who were lawyers and black, they went out of town to get their law degree. So as you heard from Judge Ball, that what happened is that when they started desegregation, it opened the door, and John Marshall was the law school that I had dreamed about and thought about, and was wishing that I could come to, and I did. I came to John Marshall, and I took a bar review course here. And at that time, if you had passed, was a high school graduate, and read law under a lawyer, under an apprenticeship, then you were able to become a lawyer if you passed the bar. The bar was the hardest thing to do. And I know that you as students are going to have to embark upon passing the bar. And I know that from what I've heard from you, that you probably have and the teachers, and I know the teachers teach law. And they teach you how to pass the bar along with other things and other principles, legal principles. And I know that you will be successful. And you will be successful even though you don't pass the first time. I didn't pass the first time. I passed the second time. And I thank God for that, because if I had not gone to John Marshall bar review class and was taught by two fine attorneys, the Finster brothers, I don't know whether, and I was asking them about the Finsters, and they taught me, and they told me, what to do. They taught us how to pass the bar. So if you don't pass the first time, continue to take it. I'm the proud mother of two lawyers. One who have been practicing 33 years, Avis Hornsby Culpepper. And Christy Battle, Hornsby Battle. And she's been practicing, and she is a graduate. And I'm proud to say she's a graduate of John Marshall. And she's been practicing 10 years. And I have a grandson, too, that I'm very proud of. He has been practicing 2 years, and he's a lawyer at the Attorney General's office. So there he is. We are a family of lawyers. And I'm telling you, I don't know of any other occupation. I was a short order cook. I was a mother. And I think you're on the right road. And I think, and as Dean Gate would say, change the world. And that's what we're here for anyway, to be better people. So just change the world. The law is now, and I see the things that's going on. It's kind of difficult, I know. And it's a lot of things that need to be changed. But you have so many opportunities as a lawyer. And as you heard Judge Ball say that about some of the things that I have done. I have been a public defender. I have been a judge. I've been a solicitor. I've taken both sides. And it doesn't matter as long as you're doing what you know is right. And we as lawyers can help. We can be productive. We can change the world. And I challenge you to change the world for the good. And that's all that's needed. And that's what I think everybody in their field, they were put here and given the desire to be whatever they want to be, because it is a duty upon us as human beings to have a better world, a good world, and change the world as God intended. God bless you. I pray that you change the world. Help us to be better people. Help us to love one another. And help us to do what God would have us do. Thank you. God bless you.
I have a special honor for Ms. Hornsby. Back in 1965, there were no diplomas. So we got her own special diploma. You want to stand over here to get the picture.
Dean, can you read the diploma for her by
Oh,
the
yes.
power vested in you?
Yes, I got to make it official. By the power invested in me by the authority of the Board of Directors of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, I hereby confer upon Louise Thornton Hornsby the Juris Doctorate degree with all rights, duties, and privileges appertaining thereto. Thank you. All right, I'll hold it up here and we'll give it to you afterwards.
So I'm again honored to present this next award. The Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to alumni who have obtained distinction in their professional careers. They have made significant contributions of their time and philanthropy to the law school and their community. They represent the very best of the values we hold dear: extraordinary achievement, selfless public service, and a lifelong commitment to AJMLS. Judge Drake is a 2011 alumna of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. She graduated at the top of her class and was a member of the moot court team where she competed nationally. She began her legal career as a prosecuting attorney for the Fulton County Solicitor General's Office and eventually transitioned to prosecuting felonies for the DeKalb County District Attorney's Office as an assistant district attorney. After years of criminal prosecution, Judge Drake entered a new area of practice, civil litigation, at which point she began her career at Bay and Associates, LLC, as an associate attorney in the litigation section, and later the lead associate representing victims and their families in medical malpractice, wrongful death, and trucking litigation cases. During this time, Judge Drake lobbied Congress on both sides of the aisle regarding the unconstitutionality of mandatory arbitration clauses in civil practice in hopes of preserving and protecting our Sixth Amendment right to a trial by jury in civil cases. She successfully completed the prestigious ATLA Ultimate Trial Advocacy course at Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and was a featured panelist at the American Association for Justice Women's Caucus in Denver, Colorado. In 2020, Judge Drake continued her career at Bader Scott Injury Lawyers, where she served as a captain overseeing other personal injury attorneys. In May of 2020, she was appointed to the bench as a full-time magistrate judge by Fulton County Magistrate Court Chief Judge Cassandra Kirk, where she presides over criminal and civil cases. She's the first female judge of Persian heritage in Georgia. Judge Drake is a group leader for her local Georgia Association for Women Lawyers, GAL, mentoring circle. She now serves on the board of directors for the Atlanta Bar Association Women in the Profession section and on the technology committee for the Fulton County Magistrate Court. She is also co-chair of the awards committee for the Georgia Council of Magistrate Court Judges. Judge Drake resides in Atlanta with her husband and dog. Congratulations to the 2022 Distinguished Alumni recipient, the Honorable Judge Ashley Drake.
Dean Gatewood, distinguished faculty, proud supporters, class of 2022, I am deeply grateful to receive this award. 11 years ago, I sat in your very seat at my own graduation and became the first lawyer in my family. I remember being proud of myself, but at the same time being a little scared. While I had achieved one of the biggest goals of my life, I knew there were other obstacles ahead. If I could go back in time and counsel my younger self here at law school graduation, I would tell her this: Ashley, I have great news. One day, you are going to turn this graduation robe into a judicial one, but it will not be easy. You are going to have to endure some disappointments, hardships, criticism, and you are going to fail sometimes. But with each failure will come development, and I promise you are going to get through all of it, and it will all be worth it. You are going to have a career that is meaningful to you. I will let you in on a few special moments that you are going to have the privilege of experiencing. You think you are happy now, but one day you are going to pass the bar, and the happiness you feel today, multiply it times 100,000. You are going to become a prosecutor. You are going to try a lot of cases. You are going to win some. You are going to lose some. You will spend countless moments in your car or in your shower reliving the losses and what you should have said or could have done better. Then you are going to become a civil litigator. You are going to travel all over this state to represent some of the most vulnerable members of our society who died in the hands of doctors, police, security, and negligent drivers. Your clients will watch you from heaven, and you will do right by them. And one day, you will be appointed to be a judge, and your first day on the bench, you will preside in the very same courtroom where you started your career as a prosecutor a decade earlier, and you will be happy. Class of 2022, I invite you to take a look at your classmates in this room. You may not know it now, but time will prove that we are in the presence of greatness. Future lawyers, judges, professors, mediators, legislators. And you have had more than your fair share of obstacles over the past 3 to 4 years. You were patient when the law school moved locations. You endured law school during an international pandemic. You had to study contracts and torts while the rest of us baked bread and watched Tiger King. You should get special letters after your last name for enduring all of that. Can we get them more regalia or something? When movies portray lawyers, there is an emphasis on expensive suits and fancy window offices. Our power is not in our suits or our offices. Remember our namesake. Chief Justice John Marshall wrote one of the most famous court opinions, Marbury versus Madison, at a time when the Supreme Court of the United States didn't even have its own building. Our power is what you have received since your 1L year from them, and what you have received in your life experiences since your birth from them, and maybe some people who aren't with us anymore that you are remembering today. And most of all, of course, your power comes from within yourself. The practice of law is a tremendous responsibility. It's a promise to your clients, to opposing counsel, to the public, and to the next generation of lawyers. Strive every day to be worthy of their confidence. I want to express my sincere appreciation to my parents who are here today, Jamshid Ghulam Hussaini and Nazhat Muluk Faridal Ghulam Hussaini. It is an honor to be your daughter. I am the luckiest person in the world to call you my parents. I'd like to thank my husband, Michael Drake. I'd like to thank my siblings. I'd like to thank my extended family and friends, including the Reeses and Drakes. I'd like to thank my school. I owe so much of what I have to Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. I will never stop thanking you for my shot. You were the door that opened for me, and I will always open my doors to you. I'd like to thank all of my wonderful professors and deans, especially Dean Gatewood, Dean Milter, Professor Rosen, Dean Mears, Professor Vendetta, and I'd like to thank Miss Ana and Mr. Doucette. I'd like to thank Carlton Lewis, who is a law student here, for being my nominator, and I can't wait to come here in due time and watch you accept this award one day. Class of 2022, your relationship with the law will bring you some of the greatest moments of your life. Trust me, I would know. You are witnessing one of mine. Congratulations and welcome to the club.
Now, I have the distinct honor of introducing our next distinguished alumni and commencement speaker, the Honorable Rhonda Bender Kruziger. Judge Kruziger is a Superior Court judge in the Griffin Judicial Circuit, which covers Fayette, Pike, Spalding, and Upson counties. She received a law degree from Atlanta's John Marshall Law School in December of 2000. And a Bachelor of Science in Microbiology from Northwestern State University in Louisiana in May of 1991. Prior to becoming an attorney, she worked as a forensic serologist with the North Louisiana Criminalistics Laboratory in Shreveport, Louisiana, and as a forensic toxicologist for SmithKline Beecham Clinical Laboratories in Dallas, Texas. During her last semester of law school, she completed an externship in the Special Prosecution Division of the Office of the Attorney General for the state of Georgia. After law school, she worked as Assistant District Attorney in the Griffin Judicial Circuit, where she prosecuted felony, misdemeanor, and juvenile matters for Fayette, Pike, Spalding, and Upson counties from 2002 to 2006. In 2006, she left the district attorney's office to start her private practice, the Kruziger Law Firm, PC. During this time, she also served as solicitor for the city of Sonoya, solicitor for the town of Tyrone, and subsequently as a conflict defense attorney for the Georgia Public Defenders Council in the Griffin Judicial Circuit. She was appointed as an interim judge for the City of Fayetteville Municipal Court from July 2018 until December 2018, and subsequently appointed to the position of Chief Judge of the City of Fayetteville Municipal Court on January 2019, and served in this capacity until August 2020, when she was appointed by the Griffin Judicial Circuit Superior Court judges and the presiding juvenile court judge to be the full-time associate juvenile court judge. In July of 2021, Governor Brian Kemp appointed her to Superior Court for the Griffin Judicial Circuit, and she was sworn in on August 17, 2021. Judge Kruziger is the first woman and the first person of color to serve on the Superior Court bench for the Griffin Judicial Circuit. Judge Kruziger.
Thank you so much. Class of 2022. What if I told you you can live a life without professional limits? What if you knew that this major step in your life of getting your law degree was only one of many great steps you will take. What if each of you decided today that if you commit to your purpose, you will far surpass this monumental achievement of receiving your JD? Well, I'm here to remind you, just as Judge Drake stated, sitting in front of you, around you, and behind you are tomorrow's leaders. In this room, we have our future senators, representatives, teachers, professors. We have some world-shaping litigators, influential jurists, legendary orators, and possibly even some Nobel Prize-winning recipients. What if you dared to believe the fundamental truth that everything you need to live a life without professional limits, you already possess inside of you? How many of you would walk out of this graduation and start to forge ahead to things you're destined to do with a different attitude and a newfound conviction? What if you walk out of here today and decide that this achievement of receiving your law degree right here, right now, is simply your floor? And you will now start to move toward an open, unlimited professional ceiling. Now, I'm sure many of you are sitting out there thinking, my goodness, not another self-help anecdote and not another pep talk. But ladies and gentlemen, class of 22, that's not my message today. My message to you is simply that your life achievements can truly have no limits. You have already discovered that it doesn't come without hard work, sacrifice, and tenacity. It doesn't come without the willingness, desire, and dedication to succeed. You already know that it won't happen if you don't execute your plans by putting them into action, by getting up every day and giving the world your absolute best. It will, however, manifest if you get up every day and take another step closer to achieve everything you have within your power and control to achieve in that day everything you can, not being discouraged or distracted by the days to come. Helen Keller once stated that we should never bend your head. Always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this young, remarkable woman who lost both her sight and her ability to hear before the age of 2 could move on to learn to read and write and become one of the most publicly sought out public speakers of her time, and not to mention to acquire a Bachelor of Arts degree from Radcliffe of Harvard College, could do that in her day with those limitations, how much more could each of you accomplish now with the resources you have within your control? Now, many of you may sit here and ask, okay, Judge, so what's the next step? What can I expect? Well, I want to take you on a slight detour before we go there. I want to encourage you that after you finish studying for the bar, and yes, passing it, I want to encourage you to go back to some of your first loves. Remember some of your primary passions. I can tell you that one of mine is listening to audiobooks. I love listening to the stories of others who've gone before me. I love listening and reading about people's life stories through biographies and autobiographies. And over the years, 30 plus years to be exact, that I've had the privilege of doing so, I've learned that almost each and every one of them had a commonality. They had a common denominator amongst them. And that was each purposed their lives. Each lived with purposefulness in their pursuits. They were purposeful with their intentions. And above all, like you, they were purposeful in their actions. After today, class of 22, my prayer and desire for each of you is that you will leave this auditorium, set your mind and hearts and hands to accomplish things far beyond what you can imagine today. but do so by being purposeful with your actions and with your daily choices. Whether you decide to pursue the practice of law or to use your legal education for your own edification and probably to the chagrin of all your families and friends, you can use it in what format or venue you elect. That's the benefit and the beauty of a law degree and a legal education. It's multifaceted. But whatever you do so with purpose every single day. Surprise yourself. I want to tell you that when I grew up, I was in a small town, and Judge Drake and I had a brief conversation before we came out, and she's a city girl. And I've always admired people from the large cities because I know that when they are out, they have a lot more finesse than sometimes we country women are. But that aside, it's no excuse because I learned very early on, God makes no mistakes. I had the privilege of being out there, and I don't mind telling you, 12 miles from any real township. So you can imagine just how truly rural that was. But I can recall as a little girl sitting on the back steps, looking up at the sky. It was one Saturday evening. And all I could think of was, Lord, I know that there's a whole lot more out there for me than what I can see right now. And I want you all to know that in that moment, I purposed in my mind and my heart that I would study, I would read, I would observe people around me from all walks of life to learn as much as I could and as fast as I could so that I could go out and be equipped to live whatever purpose was destined for me. I learned very fast that you can learn something from anyone on the street. Even if you decide I don't want to take the turn that he or she took, or I don't want to make that same or similar mistake, you learn something. I want to encourage all of you as you go out into this world, into this professional arena, be mindful of the people and the things around you. Take stock of each and every lesson that you have the great fortune of being exposed to. Adopt those that serve you, discard those that don't. But in either and in both situations, be purposeful in your actions. I learned, like many of you, that my thirst for knowledge and positive experiences was insatiable. And to this day, I'm embarrassed to admit my age, but even at 53 years old, far removed from that very young girl in the country, I still drive to improve and renew my mind with positive thoughts. I constantly read statutes, cases, and rules. I listen to audiobooks to how to improve my daily living so that when I encounter others on my path and on my journey, I can make a positive deposit in their lives. I love to play a world geography app on my phone because it teaches me about the other places in the world that I desire to see, where they're located, what languages the people in those countries speak, who are their leaders, what type of government do they have, what type of currency do they use, and what are their fundamental beliefs. I know many of you are thinking, Lord, this lady really needs some hobbies. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, is like many of you, I am a lifetime learner. I love to absorb everything around me pretty much at all times. I will tell you that my quest and thirst of knowledge has served me well. It is my belief that it gave me a broader perspective when I practiced law, and it has served me exceptionally well since I've been on the bench. I have the great privilege of drawing from the experiences, not only from my professional life, but also from the information that I've learned by studying other people's lives. I learned very early on that life doesn't happen in a vacuum, so when litigants and lawyers come in front of me, I don't rush to judge. I know that, like all of us, it's a combination and a culmination of factors that lead us to the place where we are at that particular time. And I've learned to meet people where they are, desire to hear them, want to know them, so that I can better serve them. I remind myself daily that I must live a life full of purpose, making conscious efforts to get up every day to make sure that I am grounded and centered before I go out and face the challenges of that particular day. I remind myself, and I pass this information on to you, that in life there are only wins and lessons, and there's no such thing as failure, only new opportunities to learn and grow. I'm going to encourage you to adopt a fundamental truth that I accepted a long time ago. Make peace with hard work. Anything worth having, as you've all have come to learn, you must and should want to work for. After today, I am confident that each of you will get up every day and remind yourself of these fundamental truths as well. You will get up and go out and give the world your best. You will remember, especially when you feel like giving up, you will remind yourself that you have been preparing for that very moment your whole life. You will recall that the same perseverance that got you to that point in life will carry you on to the next destination. Ladies and gentlemen, learn to lean into discomfort and never shy away from uncomfortable situations, because in those moments, you can seize the opportunity to embrace the process of growing wiser and stronger. You will draw and pull from the strength you have acquired through the race of endurance, commonly known as law school. You will be able to use that experience and endurance training to know and feel confident that you are prepared for the marathon that lies ahead called life. You won't let your self-doubt and insecurity play any significant role in your decision-making, nor will you let the fear of disappointment have a place in your daily walk. Instead, you will remind yourself that you truly can live a life without professional limits and be purposeful and impactful in everything you set your hands to do. You will remind yourself that your service to the public and to the community knows no bounds. You will remember that all the knowledge and education you received was so that the world could reap the benefits and be a global beneficiary of all of your hard work. You will remind yourself and everyone around you that you have something deep and enriching to offer this world, and you are wonderfully and fearfully made to make a special and unique contribution to this planet. You will never let anyone around you rob you of your joy and your divine purpose. Instead, you will surround yourself with others who esteem you, making you sharper and wiser, encouraging you to move forward to do even greater things. You will live a life without professional limits on how far you can go in the service of others. And as you make your way to the next step, you will look around and take stock of the people and things around you. You will live with a heart of gratitude, taking the time to reflect back over your life, thanking everyone who has made a deep and meaningful contribution to you fulfilling your purpose. You will remember to always say please and thank you, because you won't take for granted, even for a second, that any person on this planet that does something for you is not required to do so, but instead they have given you a precious and beautiful gift. You will write them a note. You will send them a thank you card, or you will find some meaningful way to let them know just how much you truly appreciate their help. Now, Dean Gatewood asked you, as did Ms. Hornsby and many of the other speakers that came before me, to thank the people who've contributed to you getting here. I'm going to ask, as you leave here today, go up to your family and friends, classmates, professors, and law school staff and tell them with your own words, sincerely, how they've helped you tremendously to get to this point. And as I look back over my shoulder, I had a wonderful surprise today that Dean D'Agostino is here, and he received an award. Those of you who are here will never understand the wealth of resources and dividends he sowed into our lives when we were here in the late 90s and early 2000s. I am privileged beyond measure to sit and both stand on this stage with Dean D'Agostino again today. I would be remiss without thanking other people who served during that time, and I was pleasantly surprised to see he probably doesn't even remember me, but Professor Michael Lynch. From the law library, the countless days he encouraged me, not only through his words, but especially through his actions. He was a man about purpose and vision every time I saw him, and that has never left me to this day. There were countless other adjunct professors, full-time staff members, and other professors at the John Marshall Law School in that time that served and sold into us exponentially. I would be remiss without also acknowledging some fellow classmates who I have the privilege of sharing this stage with today, Judge Nearaball, and also Adam Malone. Thank you guys so much. You two have had the great privilege of learning from your classmates. You too will be able to take those skills and utilize them for a lifetime. I would like to thank Dean Gatewood and the current AJMLS staff for your countless hours spent instructing and teaching. And I can be as transparent as I can and scaring the living daylights out of us. Preparing us for the next steps that lies ahead. What I'm trying to say, class of 22, is I, like all of you, have had a host of wonderful people over my lifetime that have made it possible for me to be at this stage in my life. So I want to encourage all of us to stay humble and grateful for every moment and for every person who has contributed to our success. As you walk out these doors today, be bolder and more courageous than ever. As you leave this auditorium, remember to be prepared, poised, professional, and persistent, so you can serve this noble profession in the manner that was always intended. Be lawyers, attorneys, and advocates whose primary focus is to serve others and to make this world a better place because you sojourned for a season at this great institution. Seek out the type of work that fulfills your purpose and call so that it would never feel like you work a day in your life, but that you only give up and live the life you were destined to live. Mentor other young professionals and seek people to mentor you who can offer their wisdom, insight, and experience so you can serve and offer competent, sound legal counsel for those in need. Continue to study. Embrace being a lifelong learner, always preparing for your respective professions. Be attorneys of this world who restores confidence in the legal profession, remembering that a lawyer's job is to resolve conflict, not to needlessly keep it going for selfish gain. Help the people you are tasked with helping. Serve them with excellence. Help them navigate some of the most difficult and frightening times of their lives. And rest at the end of every day knowing you did well because you served with your whole heart. Then go to bed, get up, and do it all over again the next day. Never forget that you are some of the brightest minds on this planet, and you have the responsibility and duty to use it for the good of all mankind. And lastly, grab hold of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "If I can't do great things, I will do small things in a great way." Congratulations, class of 22. Please live your life knowing you have no limits to your professional achievements. And as Ms. Hornsby, who went before me, has already charged you, go out and change the world for the better. Thank you.
Well, we have reached the main event. The announcement of graduates and the conferring of degrees. Would Dean Harrison Mercer and Dean Jameson join me at the podium? Graduates, you will begin to line up to receive your degrees.
Joseph Page Anfield L. Dylan Annis. Carolina Arias Sidiel. Alexandria Barron. Ty Juliana Barksdale. Lauren Bates. Kayla Marie Lunsford Beckworth. Sean Becoy Tabiri. Lauren Bofield. Joseph E. Bush. Wesley Bush. Jennifer Cabrera Torres. Janae Keynes. Carly Doe Corbin. Joshua Elbaz. Sandler Ernst. Juno Adrian Faulkner III. Nina Fisher. Shambrea Goodman. Sharon Rodriguez Hansroth. Edward Hardrick. Zalethia Harris. Tanisha Humphrey Ross. Anaya Queen Johnson. Heather Kennedy. Derek Law. Sabrina Leverett. Naja McIntosh. John B. Mangrum IV. Thomas McCoy. Tierra Marie Montero. Sharice Elizabeth Norman. Tim Hollywood Orange.
We out here.
Ajibola Oyibode. Stanza Yvette Patterson. Antonio Ali Pishvai. Kirsten Kisano. Nicole Rizza. Motts Donald Rosian. Ashlyn Roser. Majd Saba. Meredith Grace Shea. Brianna Tiffany Smith. Griffin Stocks the Fourth. Javion Thomas. Albert Leroy Thompson IV. Kamali Thompson. Jacqueline Rose Tucker. Rochelle Walker. Jason Ronell Warren. Corey Washington. Terry Wells. Nick Wise.
Y'all look good up there. I will now ask Director Adam Malone, a 2000 alumnus, a former distinguished alumni, and a member of the Board of Directors and a major contributor donor of the law school, to join me at the podium. Will the members of the graduating class of 2022 please rise? Director Malone, I have the honor of presenting the graduates for Juris Doctorate degrees. They have completed the courses of studies prescribed for them by the faculty and have successfully passed their examinations. On behalf of the faculty, I request that you confer upon them each of their degrees.
Dean Gatewood, upon your recommendation, it is my privilege by the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School to confer upon these individuals the Juris Doctor degree with all rights, duties, and privileges appertaining thereto.
Now, as customary, I would ask you all to flip your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the class of 2022. Y'all may be seated. We will now have representatives of the day and evening classes share their thoughts with their fellow graduates. We will hear and have remarks from the class valedictorians of 2022. First, the part-time valedictorian, Lauren Bofield.
Thank you, Dean Gatewood. And let's have one more round of applause for the class of 2022. I am honored to be the valedictorian for the part-time program and honored to say a few words on behalf of my fellow classmates. As part-time students, we had to manage our time wisely, as most of us have full-time jobs and families that needed attention in addition to our studies. And because law school wasn't challenging enough, some of us, like myself, decided to give birth 2 days after the crim law final second semester. But all that hard work paid off, and we should be proud to reach this milestone. I know it hasn't been easy, from the hundreds of pages of reading to outlining and briefing, learning new styles of writing such as IRAC, CREAC, and suffering through finals. However, let's not forget the good times as well, such as the friends we've made. And our proud moments, such as receiving a passing grade on a test that we thought we failed. Or the moment we finally understood complex legal theories, such as the levels of scrutiny in constitutional law, hearsay and evidence, and of course, the rule against perpetuities in property law. I'm just joking, no one understood that one. All this hard work cannot be attributed to us alone, as we have all had others who assisted us in this journey. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the professors on behalf of myself and my cohorts. Thank you all for challenging us and providing us with the knowledge and skills needed to become successful attorneys. Thank you also to the other staff members of Atlanta John Marshall for always answering our questions and providing assistance when need be. I want to also give a special thanks to all our families and friends for supporting us through this journey. Personally, I would like to thank my husband, Javier, for his support, which allowed me to focus on school while he focused on everything else. Thank you for believing in me, and I couldn't have done this without you. I want to thank my daughters, Lana and Olivia, for allowing me time to devote to law school. And I know it hasn't been easy not having mommy's full attention, and I love you so much. I want to thank my parents for believing in me in my dreams and teaching me that hard work pays off. And lastly, I would like to thank a very special person who believed in me and encouraged me to go to law school, Ms. Carla Gaines. Your unwavering belief in me means so much, and there are not enough words to relay my gratitude. And finally, I would like to end with an inspirational story that a wise professor told us our first semester of law school. Law school is like hiking up Mount Everest, with the top representing passing the bar. As you may know, and sadly, those who perish before reaching the top of Mount Everest remain on the mountain, serving as markers for others to indicate how close to the top of the mountain they are. So this wise professor explained that one of those markers was a hiker wearing green boots, who sadly perished right before reaching the top. So as graduates of Atlanta John Marshall, we are almost at the top of Mount Everest when we pass the bar in a few months. So I leave you with these inspirational words from this wise professor. Don't be green boots. Finish this journey, and I look forward to working with you all on the other side as licensed attorneys. Congratulations.
Now we will hear from our full-time valedictorian, Max Rosian.
Good afternoon. My name is Mats Rosian, and I want to wish a warm welcome to all the spouses, children, parents, family, and friends, both physically here, as well as those who have graced us with their presence virtually over the live stream. I presume that all technical functions are operating normally on our end, and that the video you see is displaying a picture of my face and not that of a saddened cat. However, on the odd chance that I may appear to be covered in fur, with whiskers and a pink nose, let me just say, I am not a cat. I stand here today on this stage before an esteemed collection of deans, professors, and administrators who have relentlessly worked to ensure the success of my fellow graduates and I as we have matriculated through the Juris Doctorate program at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. I extend my sincerest gratitude and appreciation to each and every one of you for enshrining us with your expertise, and I have no doubts that you will all continue to live on in our memories for decades to come. Most notably, the post-traumatic flashbacks of first-year cold calls from the likes of Professors Appolinsky, Vandetta, and Birch. Yet, I would not have had it any other way. Finally, and certainly most importantly, I am honored to share this day with my fellow graduates of the class of 2022 at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. To think this time 3 years ago, each of us full-time day students were anxiously getting our affairs together in anticipation of beginning law school in the fall of 2019. Yet, I am not sure that even the most talented individuals in the industry could have forecasted the magnitude of change that our class would endure over the next 3 years. To date, our class experienced a fluctuating curriculum, a relocation of the school's building, a necessity to navigate law school and legal practice in the virtual space, and lest we all forget, a global pandemic. Yet through it all, we all continue to persevere, to stay resilient in the face of adversity, to remain flexible in times of unknown, and to prove to the world that we have what it takes to accomplish our end goals, whatever those may be. We gained knowledge, we gained mentors, and we gained camaraderie. We all found friends, and others found the love of their life, the one they could not imagine going a day without, the one who I call Baby Rella. There is a poem that I'm sure you are all familiar with that I first heard when my 5th grade choir teacher retired. Shout out to Mrs. Courier, who is watching the live stream back in Glenwood Springs. I made it. Thank you for all your wonderful years of teaching, and this poem has stuck with me ever since you shared it with us all those years ago. The poem is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and I ask your indulgence to allow me to read this poem. 2 roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept thee first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Looking out into this room, I know that each of my fellow graduates have taken their own less traveled paths to get here, myself included. I encourage each of you to continue taking the less traveled path and reap the benefits that such a choice will bestow upon you. It has been a pleasure and honor to have shared this experience with all of you, and I look forward to celebrating your successes in the future. Thank you.
I promise we're almost there. Now that you've all instantly become alumni, we will hear remarks from the chairman of the Alumni Association, Attorney Randy Fry.
How was that walk for 3 months post 3-level lumbar fusion? Not bad. My name is Randy Fry. As Dean Gatewood said, I am the president of the current Alumni Association, and I'm making some remarks today on behalf of the board and the Alumni Association with some exciting things to occur down the road. Most importantly, I'm a 1999 graduate of John Marshall, and you will find that after you practice for 21 years and you try 37 jury trials and so forth, you will learn to put your remarks either on 22-point font or bring your glasses or do both. Always prepared, judges, may I say. I also want to say some interesting things occurred today. You heard Judge Drake mention you will have some failures. That's part of it. Ms. Hornsby loved the comments, said that she fought hard, took the bar a second time. You're looking at somebody that was a second-time bar taker. I did it, and so everybody can do it on that. And on that, let's give a shout out to our bar takers that did so great yesterday's results. I promise to be very brief, so again, I appreciate the opportunity today, but I want to say cooking shows and goldfish. Cooking shows and goldfish. What do I mean? Everybody that's here today had some type of family or support system. That is so important. It was your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your husbands, your wives, your partners, whoever that may be. I had that too. But cooking shows. When I was going through law school and those long, long exams and all the hard times, I know nothing about cooking, so I would go home and stare at these English accented people talking about au jus and things I had no understanding of. But you know what I'm talking about. The other thing was I had a goldfish, and I got that goldfish, and I would often talk to that goldfish during my law school exams and the bar study prep. I would cross-examine that goldfish. I was really good. I always won. So to be reminded from the alumni perspective, we know what a support system each of you have had. This is truly a group effort, and as you move into the future. And the reason I want to bring that up is, as part of the Alumni Association, we have reinvented ourselves the past year and a half. This past year, we had some really big successes. First of all, we had a major alumni event last fall, which we had over 150 people, and that is thriving and growing. We actually reinvented the Alumni Association with not a sexy subject, but a new set of bylaws, and we have a comprehensive database. The reason I bring that up is I want each of you to use that resource. You're coming from a fine school, but look at the success of the people on this stage and in this audience. It's really exciting, and I want to make sure you use that resource. We kind of talk about, we have really several things we want to do. We want to connect everybody, students with alumni. we want to hire, and our firms, my firm, firms represented on stages and in the audience here, we want to hire individuals, and you folks have a great opportunity. And then remember those behind you. We want to tell everybody or ask everybody to remember to give back. You're sitting here now in your position and you're looking ahead at future opportunities, but as you reach those mountaintops, don't forget to give back. And we have an incredible alumni association, so we want everybody to reach out to us, and you're going to see a lot more about the Alumni Association in the future as we have new officers be elected, have recently been elected, and there's a lot of opportunity. All that to say, we want to encourage you to keep moving forward. There will be some challenges as you move forward. I was almost a green boot. I loved that story. I'd never heard that story before. We'll all be cautiously optimistic that you'll make it through the bar the first time, but keep moving forward. And remember the goldfish that was my rock and support that I mentioned? His name, and he's long been gone to that pond in heaven, but that goldfish's name was Atticus Finch Fry. So I'm Randy Fry, owner of the Fry Law Firm, chairman of the Alumni Association, and we want to encourage y'all to continue to reach out to us. We will continue to reach out to you now and through the bar and in the future. And then please plan on trying to be a part of us moving forward where you can stay engaged with us. Thank you so much, and we're so proud of each of you.
Now we will have our benediction and hear again from Reverend Dr. David Anthony Spencer, Jr.
Let us bow our heads for a prayer. Oh, gracious God, we have heard from this illustrious dean. We've heard from judges, mentors, and friends. We witnessed the conferring of degrees. We've honored those who have given to the community. We thank you for the yelling and the screaming that went forth in celebration. We ask now that you go with us, cherishing the profound memories that have shaped us during this time. Let us leave from this ceremony contemplating our purpose and goals for our lives. Grant favor for each graduate here, granted for all humankind. Guide their thoughts, their actions, and directions. Let them not forget all you have given unto them, including experience, mentorship, and skill. Give them the tenacity to battle the inequities and the hatred that oppose our great nation. Give them the fortitude to stand for what is right and for what is just. May they not run from adversity or calamity that confronts them, but stand with resolution and conviction. Most importantly, Lord, give them grace. We thank you now for their families, for their friends. We thank you for this faculty and staff, the staff who has led us through this great ceremony. We ask now, God, that you be with us as we leave from this place. We are truly proud of the class of 2022. May you keep us safe as we leave from this place. Let us continue in celebration and professional pursuit. This is our prayer. In Jesus' name we pray. Let your hearts say in jubilee and great smiles, amen.
Thank you very much. That concludes our ceremony. But before we go, I want you to know that the law school, as you know, recently converted to a nonprofit institution. This move gives us flexibility to provide better services and opportunities for incoming and current students, as well as alumni. As part of that move, we established the John Marshall Law School Foundation, which is headed by Chief Development Officer, Ms. Wendy Ina, who helps steer our fundraising efforts and provide more direction, more direct scholarships for our students. These efforts are already bearing fruits thanks to many of the alumni, friends, and staff that have donated to the foundation. So as you go forth and change the world, I want to leave you with 3 words, which Mr. Fry alluded to: connect, hire, give. Stay connected to your law school. We want to hear all the great things you're doing. When you get to a position, hire our students into jobs and opportunities, internships when you can. And give back whenever possible. Connect, hire, give. This concludes the 2022 commencement ceremony. Please allow the platform party and the graduates to exit first to the rear of the auditorium. There will be champagne served directly outside the auditorium that we invite graduates, family, and friends of age to enjoy. Thank you for coming.